So what are the remedies and rights of debenture holders? So we have in cases of unsecured debentures, and this is where the debenture is not secured by mortgage or charge, and you as the debenture holder, you bring an action to enforce the debenture and obtain judgment and levy execution on the property of the company. And this creditor may either before or after judgment present a petition for the compulsory winding up of the company. And if there's a winding up in progress, he can, in that winding up process, the amount owed. And you may rank with other ordinary creditors. So where you seek a judgment in court, whereby you enforce an action and you levy execution on the property of the company. And where there's already, and you can also institute liquidation, the winding up of the company. But where there's already winding up petition going on, you can prove how much is owed to you. And after doing that, as the court directs how the payment will be done. And where we have also said that he would be ranked as any other creditor. So in case of secured debentures, again, you rank your position is more secure because there is something that is attached to your debt. So number one would be action for the debt. And this is where you sue your debtor in case the debt is not paid. And number two is the sale of the property. And for fixed charge, a debenture holder has implied power of sale under the law of property. And this is where we were talking about a legal charge. The ownership is transferred. Therefore, if your debt is not paid, you can sell off. You transfer ownership to another person at a certain price. We also have foreclosure. And the property has been conveyed to the trustee of the debenture for sale. And the effect of foreclosure is to make the debenture holders absolute owners of all rights, title, and interest held by the borrower in property charged. And this is mostly when you take a mortgage on a house and you are unable to pay. Unfortunately, the amount that you had paid, again, as per the mortgage document you have signed, the mortgage may have been for 10 years. You pay up for 5 years. And the bank decides it needs to recover the amount that they issued to you. They institute foreclosure. Whatever rights you had are taken over by that. And they will be able to sell off this house that you were paying mortgages for to recover the amount. And hopefully it will be enough to give you some amount to start with. More often than not, the amount you had paid is not considered. They're only interested in recovering the amount advanced to you. So a remedy is where there's the taking possession of the property. And this taking possession of the property is not statutory. It results from the fact that a legal mortgage gives a term of years. Whatever we had discussed, whatever we had agreed upon, that I am loaning you this amount for this number of years. And where do you default, I will take up and own it. And lastly is where there's an appointment of a receiver. And the court will normally appoint a receiver and a manager. and by its judgment, it declares the debenture to be charged. Duty of the receiver is to merely collect and protect the property and ensure that the creditors are paid off. While the status of a receiver does not affect a company's existence, the receiver becomes responsible for the conduct of the company's business, and they can dispose of this property. So again, what is the order of payment? For the receiver, first, you settle the cost of realizing the assets. Then you cover the expenses and your remuneration. Then you cover the cost, charges, and expenses of a trustee for debenture holders and debts which would have a preferential in winding up, the claims now of the floating charge, then any surplus is returned to the shareholders. So with that, we will have finished debt capital. Are there any questions or anything you would like us to clarify before we move to our next topic? You're unable to unmute yourselves, or you can use the chat option.